What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome back to NBA GOAT News, where we break down everything NBA. Today, we're diving into one of the most debated topics in basketball history, the MVP award. Every year, there are heated debates, but some MVPs stand out as particularly controversial. Were they truly deserving, or were there better candidates? Let's break it all down. Before we get into the most controversial MVPs, let's talk about what makes an MVP race controversial. Stats versus narrative. Did the winner have the best numbers, or was the story too strong to ignore? Or it's team versus individual greatness. Should the MVP always go to the top team's best players? And sometimes there's voter fatigue, where some players robbed because voters wanted a fresh face, and then there's defensive impact. Should MVPs be more than just offensive juggernauts? Alright, now let's get into the real debate. Here's some of the most controversial MVPs in NBA history. Starting at number 1, Steve Nash. Nash won back-to-back MVPs, but many believe Shaq in 05 and Kobe in 06 were more dominant. While Nash led the Suns' high-powered offense, were his numbers truly MVP worthy, or was this a case of narrative over dominance? Nash averaged 15 and 11 in 05, great numbers, but MVP worthy? Meanwhile, Shaq put up 22 and 10 while leading the Heat to the East top seed. In 06, Kobe averaged 35 points per game, including an 81-point game. Yet Nash still won. Was he really the best player those years? At number 2, we got Derrick Rose, the youngest MVP ever at 22 years old. But did LeBron James deserve it more? Rose led the Bulls to the number 1 seed, but LeBron had better all-around stats. Rose averaged 25, 7, and 4 while leading the Bulls to a 62 wins, but LeBron had 27, 7, and 7 on an insane efficiency. Many argue that voter fatigue hurt LeBron, as he had already won back-to-back MVPs. Did Rose deserve it, or was it a popularity pick? Me personally, I think Rose deserved it. Next up, we got Karl Malone. This one is wild. Michael Jordan led the Bulls to 69 wins while averaging 29.6 points per game. Yet Malone took home the MVP. Some say it was pure voter fatigue after MJ won in 96. Malone was great, averaging 27 and 10, but was he really more valuable than Jordan? Considering MJ dominated the playoffs and won Finals MVP, was this a clear case of voters trying to shake things up? And at number 4, Allen Iverson. AI had a legendary season, carrying the Sixers to the top seed, but Shaq was a monster, averaging 28 and 12. AI's impact was undeniable, leading the league in scoring while playing with a relatively weak supporting cast. But Shaq was the most dominant force in basketball. Should Shaq have won, or was AI's underdog season just too good of a story? And then we got Russell Westbrook. Triple-double season history. That's what Westbrook's 2017 MVP was all about. But did James Harden deserve it more? Westbrook put up an absurd 31 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists per game, becoming the first player since Oscar Robertson to average a triple-double. But Harden had similar numbers while leading the Rockets to a much better record. Was Westbrook's MVP purely a stats over wins pick? There have been other questionable MVP decisions throughout history. Here are a few more that had fans scratching their heads. Dave Cowens over Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem had better stats across the board, but Cowens won due to the Celtics record. Bill Russell over Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt averaged 50 points per game, but Russell's leadership and winning culture gave him the nod. Magic Johnson over Charles Barkley. Barkley was dominant, but Magic's leadership swayed the voters. So, did these guys truly deserve their MVPs, or were they lucky to win in controversial years? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who is the biggest MVP snub in NBA history? Do you think the NBA needs to change the way MVPs are awarded? Should playoffs factor into the decision? Let's discuss. If you love NBA debates, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content. I'll see you guys in the next one.